Welcome. Today we delve into a profound topic: how to control your anger with wisdom from the esteemed Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. Anger, that fiery emotion, is a universal human experience, and yet its management remains a challenge for many. In the hustle and bustle of our modern world, anger can often seem like an unavoidable reaction. But is it truly so? Enter the Stoics, an ancient Greek school of philosophy, who proposed a different perspective. They believed in the power of rational thought over emotion, and Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, dedicated a significant portion of his work, Meditations, to the exploration of this idea. He argued that anger, like other unhealthy passions, often causes more harm than the things we are upset about. He proposed strategies for overcoming anger, which he referred to as gifts from the 9 Muses and Apollo. Join us as we unravel the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and learn to master our anger. Firstly, we must understand the nature of anger. Marcus Aurelius saw anger as an unhealthy passion. This is a perspective that still rings true in our lives today, centuries later. Marcus Aurelius, in his profound wisdom, perceived anger as more than just a fleeting emotion. He saw it as a destructive force, a passion that, in its unhealthiness, does more harm than the things we find ourselves upset about. Picture this. When we succumb to anger, we surrender our rationality, our judgment becomes clouded, and we often end up causing more damage than the initial trigger of our anger. Imagine a scenario where you've had a disagreement with a dear friend. In the heat of the moment, anger takes the wheel and you say hurtful things that you don't truly mean. The disagreement could have been about something trivial, but your anger blew it out of proportion, causing a rift between you and your friend. In this instance, you can see how the anger was more destructive than the disagreement itself. Marcus Aurelius believed that our anger can distort our judgment, leading to negative outcomes. It's like wearing a pair of glasses with the wrong prescription. Everything is distorted, skewed, and unclear. You're not seeing the world as it is, but rather as your anger paints it. This distortion can lead to misguided actions, regrettable words, and strained relationships. It's a chain reaction, all stemming from the root of anger. Anger is an emotion, yes, but it is one that requires our careful attention and control. It's not about suppressing our anger, but rather understanding it, acknowledging it, and then channeling it in a way that it doesn't cause harm. To allow anger to consume us is to allow it to control us, and that is a power it should not possess. In essence, anger is like fire. Uncontrolled, it can cause devastating destruction. But if we learn to harness it, to control it, we can use it constructively rather than destructively. Thus, Marcus Aurelius teaches us the first lesson, recognizing the destructive nature of anger. This understanding is the first step towards controlling our anger, towards turning this unhealthy passion into a force that we can use rather than one that uses us. Now let us explore the second gift from Marcus Aurelius, acknowledging our rational and social nature. In the grand tapestry of life, Marcus Aurelius recognized the threads that bind us. He believed that we, as humans, are naturally rational and social animals. We are not solitary creatures, but beings designed to live, work, and grow in harmony with one another. This understanding of our nature forms the bedrock of his approach to managing anger. But what does it truly mean to be rational and social creatures? Well, being rational means we have the capacity to reason, to think, to understand. We're not driven solely by impulses or instincts, but by our ability to discern, to analyze, and to make decisions. This is the very tool that Marcus implores us to use when faced with anger. And then there's our social nature. We are beings that thrive in communities, in relationships, in connections. We are designed to coexist, to cooperate, and to contribute to the collective good of our societies. So how can this understanding aid us in controlling our anger? Think about it. When we acknowledge our rationality, we give ourselves the power to choose our responses. We can decide whether to let the flames of anger consume us or to douse them with the cool waters of reason. And when we remember our social nature, we realize that our actions, our words, our reactions, they reverberate beyond us. They impact the people around us, the relationships we cherish, the communities we are a part of. This awareness can be the leash that tames the beast of anger. Embracing our rational and social nature doesn't mean suppressing our emotions. No, it means managing them in a way that honors our individual well-being as well as the well-being of others. It means choosing harmony over discord, understanding over conflict, and love over anger. So, the second lesson is to remember our inherent rationality and social nature during moments of anger. Marcus Aurelius also teaches us a valuable lesson about responding to negativity. He imparts wisdom about the danger of responding to hate with hate and the importance of dealing wisely with others, regardless of their actions. It's a lesson that seems simple on the surface, but it's one that can have profound implications on our emotional health and the quality of our interactions. Marcus's wisdom encourages us to consider our responses carefully. When we are faced with hostility or negativity, it's easy to react in kind, to meet hate with hate. But this only serves to escalate the situation, to fuel the fire of anger and resentment. It's a cycle that can be difficult to break, but it's one that we must break if we are to live in peace with ourselves and others. Instead, Marcus advises us to respond with wisdom and grace. Rather than allowing our emotions to dictate our actions, we should strive to control our reactions. It's not about suppressing our feelings or denying our anger. It's about acknowledging these emotions, understanding them, and then choosing to respond in a way that promotes peace and understanding rather than conflict and resentment. This approach can help us to prevent the escalation of anger. It allows us to step back from the situation, to assess it objectively, and to respond in a way that is beneficial to all involved. It encourages us to strive for harmony, even in the face of hostility. But this is not merely a strategy for dealing with negativity. It's a way of life. It's about recognizing that we have control over our emotions, that we can choose how we respond to the actions of others. It's about understanding that our emotional state should not be dictated by the actions of others, but by our own values and principles. It's a challenging lesson, but it's one that can bring about significant change in our lives. It's a lesson that can help us to navigate the complexities of human interactions with grace and wisdom, to foster peace and understanding in a world that is often fraught with conflict and misunderstanding. Hence the third lesson: do not let others' actions dictate your emotional state. Now let's delve into an ancient discourse that Marcus Aurelius would have been familiar with, the great discourse of Protagoras. In this discourse, Protagoras argues that humans were granted a unique gift by Zeus, the king of the gods in ancient Greek mythology. This gift is none other than the gift of justice. But why justice? Well, the answer lies in the purpose of this divine endowment. Zeus bestowed upon humans the gift of justice to foster bonds of friendship and social virtue. In essence, justice was given to us as a means of promoting harmony and cooperation amongst ourselves. But how does this ancient concept of justice tie into the modern struggle of managing anger? The answer is quite simple. The gift of justice encourages us to understand and empathize with others. It stimulates us to see beyond our immediate frustrations and consider the perspectives of others. When we're angry, our vision often becomes clouded by our emotions. We focus solely on our feelings and our perceived slights, leaving no room for understanding. However, by invoking the gift of justice, we can learn to step outside of our emotions. We can strive to understand the actions of others, rather than immediately responding with anger. This doesn't mean that we have to agree with or accept everything that others do. It simply means that we should try to understand the reasons behind their actions. This understanding can often lead to empathy, and empathy can be a powerful tool in diffusing anger. In the heat of the moment, it may be challenging to remember the gift of justice. Yet, it's precisely in these moments that we must strive to recall it the most. By doing so, we not only manage our anger, but we also foster bonds of friendship and social virtue. We contribute to a more harmonious society, much like the one Zeus envisioned when he bestowed upon us the gift of justice. So, the fourth lesson is to remember the gift of justice in our interactions with others. Finally, let's explore Marcus Aurelius's belief in the potential for social virtues in all humans. This belief is not unique to Marcus. In fact, it's a recurring theme in the works of many philosophers, ancient and modern alike. They argue quite convincingly that within each of us lies a natural capacity for virtues such as empathy, kindness, and mutual respect. These virtues form the bedrock of our social interactions, allowing us to live in harmony with one another. Consider empathy, for instance. It's not just about understanding another person's feelings, it's about sharing those feelings, stepping into their shoes, and seeing the world from their perspective. This ability to empathize with others can significantly temper our anger. When we truly understand where another person is coming from, their actions become less infuriating and more understandable. Kindness, too, plays a crucial role in our social interactions. It's not just about being nice, it's about genuinely caring for others, about wishing them well, and about acting in a way that reflects this care. When we act with kindness, we create a positive atmosphere that can diffuse anger and foster mutual respect. And then there's mutual respect. It's about recognizing and appreciating the inherent worth of every individual. When we respect others, we treat them with dignity and fairness. This respect can act as a buffer against anger, preventing us from acting out in harmful ways. So, what does this mean for us? Well, understanding these social virtues and their potential within us can help us control our anger. It can remind us that we are not just individuals, but part of a larger social fabric. It can help us see beyond our immediate reactions and consider the bigger picture. It can foster empathy, promote kindness, and cultivate respect, all of which can help us navigate our anger more effectively. The final lesson, then, is to recognize and cultivate the potential for social virtues within us. Now that we have unraveled the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, let's recap the lessons we've learned. Our journey began by recognizing the unhealthy nature of anger. We learned that anger causes more harm to us than the things we are upset about. It clouds our judgment, fuels conflict, and hinders our ability to reason clearly. By understanding the detrimental effects of anger, we can begin to manage it more effectively. Next, we delved into the rational and social nature of humans. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that we are designed to work together in harmony. We are rational beings, capable of understanding empathy and compassion. This understanding encourages us to manage our anger in a way that fosters cooperation and unity, rather than division and conflict. Then we explored the concept of not reciprocating hate for hate. Instead of responding to negativity with negativity, Marcus Aurelius urged us to deal wisely with others, regardless of their actions. This lesson teaches us to respond to anger with understanding and patience, promoting peace over conflict. We also discussed the gift of justice from Zeus, a concept from the great discourse of Protagoras. This gift was granted to foster bonds of friendship and social virtue. It serves as a reminder of our inherent capacity for fairness, kindness, and understanding, traits that can help us control our anger and promote harmony. Lastly, we acknowledge the potential for social virtues in all humans. Regardless of our backgrounds or circumstances, we all have the capacity to cultivate virtues like patience, empathy, and understanding. By fostering these virtues, we can manage our anger and create more peaceful, supportive communities. With these lessons from Marcus Aurelius, we are better equipped to control our anger and cultivate peace within ourselves and our communities.